Often over the years, when asked to provide a perspective about sports officiating, I would make an analogy between what we do and what judges in court do. We each learn the rules, enforce them, and do so in an impartial manner. This impartiality is an attribute we demand and greatly rely upon. I have immense respect for the men and women who serve as judges. It is because of them primarily that we live in relative comfort and safety under the rule of law. Without them, the laws are just ink on paper. Without sports officials, the rules of the game are just ink on paper. Now, sadly, we have been confronted by a troubling and troublesome ruling by Circuit Court Judge Michael J. Piontek right here in Racine, Wisconsin, our hometown. Judge Piontek heard the plea for injunctive relief by the parents of a Waterford, Wisconsin high school wrestler. During a match at the conference tournament, the veteran referee twice charged the wrestler with unsportsmanlike conduct. By the rules of the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, the WIAA, he was prohibited from participating in his next meet. In this case, that next meet was the beginning of the state tournament. Missing that event meant the wrestler was out for the entire tournament. The athlete and his parents were outraged, and when they learned the WIAA does not permit an appeal of a referee's judgment call, decided to take legal action in hopes of being granted a temporary restraining order. A 3-hour hearing took place. When it was over, Judge Piontek ruled in favor of the wrestler. He was quoted as saying he watched the video and did not hear any profanity directed at the referee, nor did he feel what the wrestler did in primping himself to the crowd was sufficient to be penalized for lack of sportsmanship. In effect, Judge Piontek became the replay official, where replay is not permitted, and chose to override the decision of the official on the mat. Under protection of that temporary restraining order, the athlete went to the state tournament and won it all in his weight class, of course. Judge Piontek played armchair referee, and the consequences, if left unchecked and unchallenged, will bring uncertainty and loss of belief in the outcomes of high school contests. Imagine how many aggrieved parents/fans will now consider using the court system to challenge a referee's judgment call. Not hard to fathom where this will lead. Sports in the courts will become more than just phraseology. As an aside, it is worth noting that historically, courts have been loath to engage themselves in judgment calls made by officials. They have done that for good reason. Sports officials have been tasked with the responsibility of knowing the rules and enforcing them to the best of our ability. Much of what we are asked to do comes in the form of judgment calls, like the one in this contested wrestling match. We are asked for very little compensation to make impartial judgment calls that ensure the game is played by the rules while emphasizing fairness and safety. We do that. Now, though, we have the specter of Judge Piontek's ruling staring back at us. Judge Piontek's ruling was appealed by the WIAA. The WIAA is to be commended. As of this writing, I do not know how that appeal will turn out. If the appeal is not upheld, then what will become our way is this. Often quite ordinary and mundane calls by sports officials will be subject to litigation brought by upset fans and parents. We officials will keep doing our jobs, but we will do so looking over our shoulders. Recruiting men, women, and young people to join our ranks will be harder. Thank you.